Told that the growth in thousands of the population of a country for X years is represented as G of X is equal to 2X. In how many years will the growth of 32,000 be achieved? So basically, because it's talking, this equation is representing the growth in thousands, you don't have to write 32,000, we just have to write 32. So basically we want X where the growth is 32. Alright, so how are we going to do this now? Right? So we realize that this is 2 to the x, so we know that 32 can be expressed as 2 to the fifth, and when the bases are equal, the powers are equal, so therefore x is 5. Question 8 is asking about general quadratic equation with roots a and b and asking how it can be written, right? So you remember when you did this in class and it was just some long derivation thing? Guys, it's a multiple choice exam. You probably have 2 or 3 minutes to solve this question. You don't have time to be sitting down and writing down B is equal to this, A is equal to that. This is just one of the things that you need to know from the top of your head. You understand? So with the roots A and B, it's going to be x squared minus the sum, so that is alpha plus beta, right? X plus the product, and that's equal to 0. It's just a standard form that you need to know and that you need to understand for yourself. Understand? So just remember, minus the sum plus the product. Right? It's just two signs to remember. We're told that if g of x is the inverse of f of x, then what is the correct diagram? So rule of thumb, right? When you're trying to find the inverse of the diagram, so you can draw your Cartesian plane. So you're going to have the graph y is equal to x, right? This is the graph of y is equal to x. And if the function is over here, so this one is supposed to be. So inverse functions are a reflection in the graph y is equal to x. If you take your exam paper and you fold it on the graph of y is equal to x, they're supposed to meet. You understand? So first thing you need to do is know that this is the graph of y equals x. If right over here, so that's the graph of y is equal to minus x. Okay, and they will not, in the choices, they did not draw the graph for us. So we have to know how the graph looks, because they do have an option as if it was in that line, y is equal to minus x. So we need to know that for us. Log 15 minus log 16 plus a half log 4 over 25, right? So we're basically being asked to combine logs. So as you can see, they're asking us to combine logs quite a few times in the exam. So it's very important that you know all these rules. So let's start with this first. So when you're subtracting them and they're of the same base, you can just combine them into divisions as 15 over 6 plus, so we remember that when we have the coefficient right here, we can raise it. This would now be the power, so that would be log 4 over 25 to the half, right? So then that would be log 15 over 16, not 16, 6 plus log, so you need the 4 over 25 raised to the half, and that would be 2 over 5. Now we have log, so when they're being added, you can just multiply what is in each bracket. So then that would be 15 over 6 times 2 over 5, and that would be log 30 upon 30, that would be equal to log 1. Now log of 1 is 0, so therefore the answer is C. Given this polynomial and we're asked which of the following are factors of the polynomial. So the first one that we have is x plus 1. So the way how we'll check if it's a factor of the polynomial is by equating this to 0, and then we'll get x is equal to minus 1. So we're going to take this minus 1 and put it everywhere we see x, and then if it ends up as if the everywhere we see x, and if the answer is 0, therefore it is a factor. So minus 1, so that would be 4 plus, so 8 times minus 1, so my calculator, 4 minus 8, so I don't forget. And then now we have negative 1 squared, that's 1, so therefore minus 2. Negative 1 times negative 6, that's plus 6, minus 4. So this one is not a factor. Next we have x minus 1. So we have x minus 1 is equal to 0, x is equal to 1. So when we put 1 into this, we have 4 plus 8 minus 2 minus 6 minus 4. And that's 0. Yay! So this is a factor. So I is a factor. Let's try for this third one. So we have x plus 2. Now we equate that to 0. We have x is equal to minus 2. Then we have x is equal to minus 2. So taking this negative 2 and plugging it in, we're going to have negative 2 to the 4th power. That's now negative 16 times 4. So we're working with negative 64 plus 8 times negative 2 cubed, that would be negative 8, right? Minus 2. So negative 2 squared, that is 4. Alright, so for this one, we have minus 2. So minus 2 to the 4th power, that is negative 16, times 4, that is, so we have minus 2 to the 4th power, so minus 2 to the 4th power, we have 16 times 4. If you're going to put minus 2 to the 4th power in the calculator, ensure that you use a bracket around the, so it doesn't just raise 2 to the 4th power then negate. So then we have 64, right? Then we have 8, open bracket. So minus 2 cubed, that is equal to minus 8, right? So far here is 0, so I kind of clear that. Then we have minus 2 squared, that is equal to 4, that is negative 8, right? And then now we have minus 6 times 2, and that is 4. 4 minus 4, that is 0. So therefore this is a factor. I could stop here because all of the suggestions that they're giving only involve 2 answers, and if I've already found my 2 factors, then it must be 2 and 3. I'd go on, but honestly in an exam, if you find the answer, just find the answer. If you want to go on to check, you can. So if you wanted to check, you could put positive 2 into this, because the final one that they're giving us is x minus 2 is equal to 0, so therefore you put x is equal to 2 into all of this, and then it wouldn't be a factor. I know that, but if you want to check for yourself. Raised to the log 5, but then it's with base 3. That's a mouthful, but yeah. So the reason I have the a here is because we're just assuming that we know what it is. So then from there we need to get this exponent down. And how do we get the exponent down? And that is through logs. So log, big open bracket, 3 log 3 5 is equal to log, this is base 3. I might miss it out sometimes, but that's what I mean. Now 3 5 is going to come to the front, and we'll be left with log base 3 of 3, and then that now is log 3 8. Now when the base and the index are the same, then this will be 1. Log 3 5 log 3 3. So ignore the 1. So by observation the answer is 5, because ignore this 1. So we're going to have log to the base 3 of 5 is equal to log to the base 3 of something, so then the something must be equal to 5.